But if you've got a 10-person team or a 20-person team, leaving it to each pair of colleagues or each subgroup of colleagues to figure out their mix of, email, Slack, Teams, Zoom, blah, blah, blah. It's a nightmare. It's really hard for people to know what's appropriate in terms of like when and how to contact people. I will confess right now, I sent Bob a text message at, I think it was 9:30 your time last night, which is really morally unacceptable. And so, what we recommend is, and I think this is just, this is truly the missed opportunity that should have happened a year ago, which is for managers and teams to set really explicit ground rules around communications and how you're going to work as a team. And the fact that people didn't necessarily do that a year ago is not a reason to skip it now, because this moment, New York and New Jersey and Connecticut have just announced that they're going to reopen offices in a couple weeks. As we're going back to the office, as we're finding this new balance between remote and office work, because the remote part is not going away, this is really the time to say, okay, here are the things we're going to do in person. Here are the kinds of conversations and decisions we're going to do, over email. Here's when you should reach out to your colleagues by Slack, and here's how quickly you should be expected to respond. And so, we outline in the book, and actually I think MIT Sloan published an excerpt from the book that includes this specific checklist, the things that you should map out in your guidelines for the team. But, it's not just like which communication channels to use for which kinds of processes, but it's also like, what's the expectation on hours? Are you expected to check your email until 5, until 8, until midnight? Are you expected to respond to a 9 p.m. email in 10 minutes? Those are really important things to clarify, particularly because I think so many of us really struggle with work-life balance when we start working remotely. I mean, it can be fantastic to be at home. I work from home in part because I have a kid who's autistic and who I needed to homeschool, and remote work is amazing for accommodating those kinds of family complexities. But the flip side is, good luck taking a real weekend when your work is right there on your computer and it's no different from if you were at the office. So that's where it's really important to have these guidelines in place, is partly to facilitate team collaboration, but also to keep people from going like totally bananas with the pressure to work all the time.